Did you know that at one time the Earth was once one landmass, and our ancient ancestors called the Nubians, who are historically known as the Olmecs, were able to walk over to what is now known as the Americas? They came here and inhabited this land long before the kidnappings, falsely called the slave trade. There are many people who would like for you to believe that only by way of the slave trade was the first time black people reached the shores of America. Yet this is simply not true. The indigenous people of the Americas were, in fact, black people. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. I'm fearless. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in. If you were able to place all the continents together, you would be able to see that they fit like a puzzle. Now, initially, the theory that the continents of Earth were a part of one landmass was not really accepted by most Earth scientists because of geophysical finding that indicates that the Earth's crust and mantle are solids possessing enough strength to resist displacement. We now know, however, that the 7 continents all existed as a single massive continent now called Pangaea. We know this because of the similar life forms and minerals on the coast of Northwest Africa that are found on the opposing shores of South America, the distinction of ancient fossils, rocks, and mountain ranges. And if these separate places were placed beside each other, you would see they fit together. You might be wondering, just how is this even possible? Well, the continental drift is the natural shifting of the Earth's landmasses. You see, what many don't know is that our planet's landmass is in constant motion, drifting in a never-ending cycle. The Earth's crust, which is its thin outer shell, is made up of several tectonic plates. Tectonic plates are massive pieces of irregular-shaped slabs of solid rock, generally composed of oceanic and continental crust floating on Earth's mantle. The plate's motion causes mountains to rise, continents to fracture, bodies of water to form where the plates pull apart, earthquakes and volcanoes above and underground, flooding and random shifting. And since the continents are embedded in the plates and drift passively with them over millions of years, this occurrence results in significant changes in Earth's geography. And so, before the continents drift, our ancient ancestors walked from continent to continent. That means that what is being called Africa, America, and Arabia was all connected in one landmass. Once the continents separated, it created what became known as new landmass. The internal forces caused by Earth's rotation as well as tidal forces fragmented the landmass and distributed it more evenly. Therefore, Australia separated and swung to the east, Antarctica cut loose from America and drifted to the poles, South America split from Africa also, and North and South America stretched apart, leaving an umbilical cord, which is now called Central America, and the small islands of the West Indies. After this, Greenland and Newfoundland broke loose from Europe, and at the same time, Africa separated from India, leaving Madagascar as a trail in peace, found presently in the Mediterranean and the Pacific Ocean. Now, if you did some research, you would find that identical plants and animals today found in different parts of the globe are a direct result of the continental drift. One example of this is the Mesosaurus, which is a freshwater dinosaur that lived in prehistoric times and was found in rock strata of eastern South America and southwestern Africa, yet nowhere else in the world. In 1969, a field expedition led by paleontologists uncovered Lystrosaurus fossils from lower Triassic rocks in Antarctica. The Lystrosaurus was a mammal-like reptile previously found in India, China, Russia, and South Africa, which only means that these lands had once been joined. Another confirmation of the continental drift is soil deposits. Deposition is a geological process in which sediment, soil, and rocks are naturally added to the landform or landmass. In this instance, the fact that mountains accumulated deposits, which could have only been left by rivers which must have flowed in the opposite direction at one time. For instance, the Appalachian Mountains have soil deposits which could have only come from the Atlantic Ocean. Now, rivers normally flow away from the ocean. However, during that period, the reverse was true. Another proof of this can be seen with the Nile River, which flows north from Lake Victoria into the Mediterranean, when rivers normally flow downhill. What many don't know is that the Earth today is still constantly moving on its own without earthquakes, but very slowly. For instance, the geologic process that builds a mountain range is moving at a rate of 1 foot every thousands of years. This seems very slow and almost non-effective. However, if this process continues for, let's say, 20,000 years, a whole mountain could be pushed up above the sea level. Now, how does this information relate to you personally right now? Well, due to the change in climate and environmental changes, the planet Earth is going through a major change. People don't realize that the Earth is alive and thus has an essential rhythmic biological process which allows it to think. Yeah, I said it. The Earth thinks. How else would you, a biological entity, be able to live in it? With all the damage that humans cause to Mother Earth, she is fighting back through nature. Notice how the poles are shifting, and there's now green grass growing in places where there was ice. This is not normal. That means that the ice caps are melting, which means that the sea level will rise, causing major floods all over the world. This also means that all of the coastline could be underwater soon. Places like California and Nevada has already felt the effects of flooding in the past. Tornadoes have been ripping through cities and states where they normally don't. So, with that said, the planet will eventually shift again, causing catastrophic destruction in diverse places. I hope you enjoyed this informative video. I'm Kefre, and this is Back to the Basics. Facts we stated. You wanna know something? Go back to basics. Most saw a trap and was called the Matrix. The world frivolized, yet it's hard to face it. So I spread truth, hope you embrace it.